How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of TreeDefi Weekly. I'm your host, Bloodtree, and I'm here to showcase all of the latest news from this week. Let's get started. As far as the crypto market goes, we've seen a pretty healthy beginning of the week where the crypto market was just booming. Bitcoin hit almost 53K, and then it just all came crashing down quite randomly, actually. In just a span of 15 minutes, Bitcoin went from 53K, not really, from around 51K, I believe, all the way down to 44K, actually hitting even 43K. And obviously, it just took the whole market crashing down with it. It tried to recover from there, started picking it back up around 47K, dropped again, picked it up around 46K, got a little bit higher, dropped again, and now it's just continuously dropping. But it seems to be holding somewhat of a resistance line between 43 and 45K. So I think it's kind of normal considering the amount of action that it's had in the past few weeks. So I don't think there's really anything to worry about. It's mostly just a sale on tokens at this point. Some of the altcoins actually are still doing very good, especially the ones that are going counter trend, like Solana, which is just absolutely booming right now because of all of the new projects coming on their network and just the amount of spotlight that it's getting right now in the past few weeks. Very sad that I didn't buy any Solana. Very sad that I didn't buy Solana when I saw it at super low prices about a year ago. But what are you gonna do? I just watch it and enjoy the growth of the market. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's an interesting network. It looks promising. I think the crypto market is still fine. It's just having a bit of a few slow days. Even some of the other hyped up coins like Cardano and other stuff like that, they had a pretty significant dip, but it's nothing really that crazy. Cardano is only about 50 cents under what it was a few weeks ago. So I think it's going to be picking it back up as well. Also considering that they're supposed to release their smart contracts this week on the 12th. But who knows? At this point, I don't really believe in a lot of the promises that these crypto projects have. So I'll be waiting for it. I'll be interested. As far as Cardano smart contracts go, we would love to implement them or at least start studying them and see what their network is all about and if it's going to have a bright future. But if they don't release them, there's not much we can do. If they do, I'll be very excited to see them. And I think it's definitely going to be one of the most promising networks that we've seen so far. It's probably going to absolutely blow up, even compared to the Binance Smart Chain. I think Cardano has a very bright future ahead if everything is planned accordingly and they respect the timelines that they've described. And of course, the quality that they've described as well. As far as other things go, it's been a pretty chill week. I can't really understand this dip though, because the day of the dip, I believe El Salvador declared that they bought a ton of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin finally became an accepted currency in their country. So you would think that would bring positive news to cryptocurrency, but no, it made a dump. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but I think everything will be fine. And September still looks like a quite good month, especially compared to the previous ones. So yeah, nice stuff. As far as our community goes, we've had a pretty decent week, and we've started delivering on some of the promises that we've had in the past for the month of September. So obviously last week we had our doxing, or at least my personal doxing, because my colleagues haven't fully come out public yet. We've had the launch of our pool week, so we've been releasing a new pool every single day of the week. We've had a cross AMA with Yield Parrot, where we kind of shared our user base a little bit and talked about each other's projects. We finally reached 10,000 subs on YouTube, and man, we've been doing these silly videos for like 4 months at this point, since the beginning of April. So it's nice to see the channel slowly growing and gathering more people. And it's also nice to have a place where we can have a history of the project and just weekly updates for our people. I always do these videos with joy, even when I'm super tired, when I'm busy with other stuff, when I have other stuff to do on the weekend, I always try to squeeze one of these in. So yeah, I'll gladly keep making them for you guys and possibly even improve on them. I've been thinking of improving the structure of the video a little bit, especially now that I'm doxed, so I can use my face as well. But I don't know, maybe it's gonna ruin the aesthetic of it a little bit. I don't know. I feel like this video has its own podcasty type of vibe where a face is not really necessary in this case. So we could keep the face for live streams, and we can keep the YouTube videos and this format because I think it works well for what they're supposed to do. My face is not really essential for this. But if you guys want it, I could always try to implement something new and have my face in here as well. Do something fun with The Office, maybe even have some new series. We were also thinking of uploading our weekly episodes on Spotify as well, or maybe having a weekly Spotify podcast there. So there's a lot of options for stuff that we can do for content, and I'm more than happy to provide for all of them. What else did we have? We've also been supported on Coin98's wallet right now, so that's pretty cool. That's one of the coins that I should have bought a few weeks ago, and I did not, because I don't have any time to pay attention to the market. But yeah, it's Coin98 has been doing amazing work. They've been doing amazing analysis work on Twitter. Their project is doing great, so I'm very happy to see their growth because it seems like a very solid project. We've also had a minor NFT update, so we've had a small update on the My Bids page, and yeah, we've had some updates from our Sambawa permaculture forest as well, and we're moving forward with that and with more donation plans. We're definitely going to do more donations in September because we've been lacking a little bit on that, just focusing on development so much. But we're definitely coming back to that, not only because we have to, but also because it's very necessary for all of our carbon offset practices that we're going to be working on. So we have to make sure that we have enough trees so we can validate our concept and have the necessary supply for the CO2 tokens when they're going to come out very soon. But yeah, pretty good week. Next week is going to be even better. We're going to try to have a big AMA on some channel. And most importantly, we're going to release the CO2 token and the dashboard where you can harvest your CO2 tokens. We're rushing to get everything ready, and we cannot wait to have it there for you guys ready. And the next weeks are going to be even bigger. So let's keep the hype going, let's keep the support going, and let's make this the best month of the project yet. Another important thing that we should discuss this week is the CO2 token, because I've seen a little bit of confusion around the community about the token. And there isn't really much to be confused about, but of course it's something new, it's a new development, and some of the new people that are going to be coming into the project might struggle to understand everything about it. So I will try to explain it as best as I can. First of all, we're determining the name of the token. So we don't know yet exactly if it's going to be CO2, if it's going to be CO2 credit, if it's going to be carbon offset token, or anything along those lines. We're just trying to find the name that makes the most sense. So currently we have a contest going on Twitter, and we're just asking our user base for the best name possible that we can have for the token. Because if there's a place where we can find the best name for the token, is definitely our community, because they're the people that are going to be using it. So if something makes sense to them, then it probably means it's correct. So you can go on our Twitter and vote for it. And on Monday, we're going to pick the final name for the token before we release it, which is probably going to be on Wednesday. So yeah, but we can keep calling it CO2 for now, just for ease of use. Also, I think that CO2 is probably the best name, even though CO2 is carbon dioxide, so it's not something positive per se, but it makes sense because if we call the token, we can call the token carbon offset or carbon dioxide, and then have the ticker as CO2, and it all makes sense. And then when people go and read the documentation or look at the website, they're going to realize that it's used for CO2 offset. It doesn't really have to be anything negative. Of course, no one's going to make a token that's going to emit CO2 into the atmosphere. That would make no sense. But yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to have a simple concept for something that makes sense for everyone. So we're trying our best with that. But what is it used for? So the CO2 token is going to be emitted by our NFTs. NFTs are just regular NFTs that are backed by real trees planted in real life. So our NFTs contain geolocalization for all of the trees that we planted around the world. And each individual tree has its own NFT. What is this used for? Well, first of all, for geolocalization, as I said. So users that own an NFT can also have an asset in real life that is living, breathing, and helping the environment. That was the main goal that we had in the beginning with this NFT project that we're doing. And then we started evolving the concept, and we realized that we could implement this into the carbon credit sector and bring the blockchain onto the carbon credit sector in an innovative way that also pushes the boundaries of that business that are currently really not being pushed by other companies. So we have NFTs. We have NFTs that are backed by real trees. We have geolocalizations for them. We have all of the data about the tree. We have some of the data on chain, some of the data off chain, and they unite together to validate the tree that's been planted in real life. So the next step now is to have offset practices through that. So we decided to make a new token, which is the CO2 token, and it's going to be emitted by the NFTs. So each NFT that our users are holding is going to be producing CO2 tokens constantly, and it will be producing CO2 tokens at the rate that the tree is absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. So the tree does its work in real life, absorbing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And then users are going to receive that carbon dioxide that's been absorbed from the atmosphere in the form of a token. And they can use that token for speculative purposes, for trading, but most importantly, they can use it to create carbon offset certificates, and offset all of their activities that they want to offset in real life. And obviously, this is not important only for users that want to offset maybe their car travels, their plane travels, any small businesses that they might own, but it can also be used for large corporations. And that's where the interest is and the biggest growth that we can have for the project. So we've been focusing a lot on this. We're finally getting to the release stages of this, and it's all going to be completed along with our token, the AMM, and everything that we're doing this month. So after this month, we're going to have a technical working system for this. And at the same time, we're working on the companies that are going to be able to certify everything in real life. So it's not just something cool on the blockchain. It's not just a funny new feature that some kids are releasing. It's actually going to be legitimized in real life. So that's our goal. So I hope everything is clear. If there's anything else that I can explain about it, I will gladly do so. But I hope everything is clear. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week's episode of TreeDefi Weekly. I'm just about to get my booty out of the office right now. It's almost midnight. The problem is that I moved all of my gear to the office for the live stream last week. So now I have a few issues. When I record these videos, I don't have proper soundproofing, so my audio doesn't sound as good as it used to, and it's pissing me off. So I think next week I'm going to be ordering a lot of stuff to make sure that this office is soundproof properly, because it's driving me insane. It's so hard to edit this audio to make it sound decent. Basically impossible. So next week I'll figure something out to make it sound better, because it's driving me nuts. But yeah, thank you guys for all of the support. We're going to have a big week ahead of us with more releases and a big rest of the month. So I'm very excited to see how everything plays out. Hopefully everything plays out on the development end on our part, and hopefully the market responds along with it. We also have the Most Valuable Builder 3 program that's going on right now. We're participating in it. We're one of the main projects, so let's hope that we do very well in it and hopefully win it by the end of it. But yeah, let's just keep having more support from the community, more positive feelings, and we'll make it to the top, baby. One day we will. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a great Sunday, and I will see you next week at the same time with another episode of TreeDefi Weekly. Love y'all. Bye bye.